Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another top 10. This is the last top 10, thank God, of the 2017 kind of roundup. I am going to be doing my kind of 2017 review as a whole. That video is going to be a little bigger, so it'll probably be about February the 1st, February the 2nd when I get that one out. In terms of my new series that I announced, if you haven't seen that video, please go click on that video and give me some suggestions. Basically, I've kind of re-thought up what I'm going to do with that video. Instead of doing like everyone's ideas from that last video, I'm gonna save all the comments and basically just do 2 ideas per episode, so 2 people's ideas, so 2 comments per episode. So please feel free to leave multiple comments, like multiple ideas. Just make sure to put them in different comments. Like, so if you've got 2 characters that you want to see, if they're like characters like Sam and Larry who are like related, then that's fine. Just don't bother putting them in separate comments. But if it's like you really want to see Itchy and Scratchy, you really want to see, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a character. Troy McClure, for example. You really want to see Troy McClure in the game, but you also really want to see, I don't know, Marge's dad. Like, those 2 aren't related, so put them in a different comment. But if it's something like Sam and Larry or Kang and Kodo, so like those like duos, then feel free to put that in separate comments. Anyway, moving on to this video. There is no dishonorable mention. Honestly, I feel like I kind of messed up a little bit on the last list. I really should have evaluated a little bit more. It was kind of rushed. And honestly, because I completely forgot about Pharaoh Skinner. I really like the Pharaoh Skinner costume, so I probably should have put that number 2, really, but whatever. Let's move on. So at number 10 on this list is Roller Skate Smithers. I don't know, this costume's not too bad. It was donuts, it was premium, and it fitted quite well with the Pride update. Honestly, though, to me, like, it's a little bit forgettable. It doesn't, although it was cool for that update, it isn't really cool after that. Like, it is just a bit, I completely forgot about this, to be honest, and it's just my opinion. I think it's quite forgettable, and I just didn't really like it too much. But it's not bad. Like, it's number 10, and honestly, I really didn't want to put it on my list, because I kind of feel like it's like a mediocre costume, but I really just couldn't find any other costume to put on my list. Honestly, I really wish I put Rap and Bart as number 10 here, but yeah, I'm putting Roller Skate Smithers. Number 9 is Cadet Lisa. Honestly, the reason I'm putting Cadet Lisa here is I just thought the costume's a little bit unnecessary, because the coolest task that we've got with that costume is with the Eliminator. So I don't see why they couldn't just have the Eliminator be a thing, and then maybe they can unlock the animation as a prize. I'm only for animations being a prize if it is extremely unique, right? And maybe the animation was her in her cadet outfit climbing across the Eliminator. That's completely fine. I just don't think that we needed a separate cadet costume. And if we're gonna have a Cadet Lisa, I think we should have a Cadet Bart as well, because I'm pretty sure Bart went to that. Well, yeah, Bart went to that school as well. I want them to complete it. If they're gonna add one, I want them to add them both, which is kind of annoying, but you know, it's not too bad. Like, I don't hate the costume, it's just there. Number 8 goes to Sorcerer Frink. The reason I'm throwing Sorcerer Frink under the bus is, first of all, it's like 100 something donuts for this. I think it's 100 donuts for this costume. You get in the Frink bundle. It's a donut costume, and honestly, I just don't think it's coolish, and I'll give it that. It does look kind of cool. At the same time, though, I just didn't think it was very necessary. Like, it wasn't in the Simpsons episode. It really wasn't a costume that we saw that much, and it comes with the entire Simpsons tie-in that they tried to do for the Treehouse of Horror update. Was really weird. I don't understand why they didn't just add all the stuff from the Simpsons episode, just add everything in the Magic update, and then also add a few other things, because then they could have cut a lot. They could have cut a lot of those other buildings. I don't know. Because the thing with the Simpsons is now they've added a few things from the, well, three or 4 things from the Simpsons. The issue is there's still loads of content left. So I don't know. I feel like they'll have to do like a Magic Part 2 or something, which I really do not want. I do not want a Magic Update Part 2, but they've got that much stuff from the Simpsons episode. They probably could. Anyway, number 7 goes to Cave Girl Booberella. Again, a costume I don't particularly like. Don't particularly dislike. It's really just felt a little bit out of place. Or, you know, I get why they added it, and it's cool, I guess, to have for Boo Burrell to have a costume. It wasn't really that relevant in the episode it's in. I don't think. I think I remember what episode it's from, but I don't know. To me, it just isn't that. It's just like a meh costume. It's not bad. It's not bad, but there you go. Anyway, those 4 costumes, I honestly sort of those 4 I kind of like a little bit. So Caveman Burrella, Sorcerer Frank, and Cadet Lisa and Roller Skate Smithers. Kind of hated putting them on my list because I don't hate those costumes too much. But the top 6, I was considering making this video top 5, but I really kind of didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be inconsistent. But this top 6, these are the ones I truly hate. So number 6 goes to Kwanzaa Dr. Hibbert. Again, don't hate. I gotta give it. The Kwanzaa Dr. Hibbert looks cool. I just hate the. Well, a few things. First of all, they kind of added this in, and I felt it was a little unnecessary in the Christmas update, because it was all about aliens invading and also about Christmas. It just felt a little bit unrelated to throw it in there. Second of all, of course, it is the actual Kwanzaa. Like, it's a political movement. It's a very political costume, and you can argue that everything's politics, but Kwanzaa is more so. Because it's very controversial, and it's something that is a very fringe amount of people even celebrate. So it's kind of like a little bit like that. I'm not against them putting it in the game. That's completely fine, but I have to put it on the list though, because again, it comes to costumes. But these top 5 anyway. So Camera Hat Homer is number 5. Honestly, doesn't look very. It looks very simple. I understand why they added it into the Spy update. It is a kind of coolish costume. It's donuts. Honestly, this is one of these costumes where it's so kind of cruddy that if you want to add it, that's fine. Don't make it donuts. That's my biggest problem. I just don't want. I think costumes like this should really be free, because they're not that awesome. It's one of Homer's worst costumes, worser costumes. And look, Homer's got so many costumes. We don't need a Camera Hat Homer. So that's number 5. Number 4 goes to Wizard Bart and Lisa. Honestly, unnecessary to add these in. Very forgettable costumes. Actually, I say unnecessary. I guess they kind of wanted to complete that entire that magic kind of arc, and I get that, but. To me, they were very forgettable. They were just thrown in there as a donut deal right at the start of the update. Just felt unnecessary, and I didn't really care for the costumes at all. Number 3 goes to Little Miss Springfield Lisa. So this is her Little Miss Springfield costume. And the reason is tasks are boring, the quests are boring, and the costume itself, it looks horrible. I hate it. It's horrible. So that's why Little Miss Springfield Lisa is number 3. Terrible. A lot of I think you guys agreed. I'm pretty sure this got worst costume. I'm pretty sure of 2017. So there you go. You guys hated it too. Number 2. Oh. Excuse me. Number 2 is Elf Bart and Lisa. Now, the reason that these guys are above Wizard Bart and Wizard Lisa is because they did it a second time. They added a forgettable, boring-looking costume twice in a row in the big updates. So I'm kind of giving a penalty more for the Elf Bart and Lisa, because they did it a second time. And they basically were 2 costumes right at the start of the update. There were donuts that you could buy in a bundle. They were very forgettable. And honestly, and even more so for the Elf Bart and Lisa, because at least Wizard Bart and Lisa was related to that update. I felt that Elf Bart and Lisa was just completely out of nowhere. They just sort of thrown it in there. I guess you could argue that they did the Santa storyline, so you could have elves in there. I just think personally they just threw it in there hoping to get a bit of cash. That's all they cared about. This wasn't a part of the story or anything. The quest line is, to me, seems rushed. Read the Elf Bart and Lisa costume line. It just doesn't seem right. It's no creativity in there at all. So Elf Bart and Lisa is number 2. But number 1, can we have that drum roll? Of course, it goes to the squeaky voiced Peasant. So I had to give it to this. This was actually the one that earned worst costume, not Little Miss Springfield Lisa. I think that came second. But yeah, squeaky voiced Peasant. So this is the worst costume. The reason I think that this is definitely the worst costume is, there's a few reasons, and it's not just because it cost real money. Now, the main reason is it cost real money. Of course, you had to actually pay out real money to get this costume in your game. I think it was like £5 or £6 or something like that. It was, I'm not too sure how many dollars or euros that was, but basically it cost real money. That's the conclusion we could come to. So, which is annoying in itself. But if it was really, really cool and it was a reasonable price, I wouldn't be like overtly bothered. Like if they did, like, say if they released like a proper Duff Gardens, but the Duff Gardens that we wanted with all 7 Duffs. So they added all 7 Duffs with Duff Gardens. 10 quid, bam. I honestly wouldn't be, I'd still be pissed off that EA did that, but I wouldn't be against that. I would be, actually no, I wouldn't even be pissed off. I think that's completely fair. Like, if they were to do that, that would have been completely fair. That's a completely fair deal. This, on the other hand, is not a fair deal. Because the costume itself is boring, the questline's boring, it looks boring, and the episode itself, I found him in it. He's in there for like 3 seconds. 3 seconds. He doesn't even play a vital role in the episode. So what's the point of adding a costume from the Simpsons episode for the Squeaky Voice team when he barely plays a role in it? I didn't even take a screenshot of him for what they could have added in the Simpsons video, because I didn't even think it was necessary. Like there was a few, like maybe one for Homer's mother, Marge's mother, maybe a costume for the Simpsons family, that's a possibility, but not for the Squeaky Voice peasant. Just seemed really irrational and didn't really, to me, just didn't really make sense why they had to make this into a costume. And yeah, I mean, just really overall just a crappy costume, and it's a crappy costume anyway, but the fact that they cost real money is a kind of add-on to why it's bad. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please tell me your top 3 or your top 5 or something like that, or if you really want, give me your top 10. That would be kind of cool to see, and I shall see you next video. Goodbye.